And I'm like, and so I say that to say, you know what I mean? People always be like that, you know what I mean? I should do a YouTube channel and just put the stuff there and start talking and do it. But it can work, you know what I'm saying? It usually works because when we speak about, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times when we go through being locked up, you know what I mean? It's still mental. But how do you, it's like anything else, how do you get something bad, whether it's something in your house, whether it's something in your car, how do you do it? Bad gas, what you do? You replace it with something new. Right. So with mental stress, or this, everybody's saying mental awareness, a lot of times we relive a trauma in our life or a trauma event in our life. Right. But yet we sit and we don't go nowhere. We either drink, smoke, or be around people, other trauma people, and we just listen to their story. We give our story, but we don't ever have a solution.
Just different kinds.
So in order for us to do it, how do we do it? We recognize that, okay, that it's there, and then we usually do it, move it or remove it by saying, things like, what, that's just a thought, or I'm gonna do it better, but we remove it constantly by doing new things. Vacation, going places you never been, meeting new people who don't have the same things you have. And that's the way you deal with mental health. A lot of people get mental health right now in this day of time off of social media. Looking at social media, seeing that people look like they're doing things that they're not doing, but in the actuality, they're not. You know what I mean? But you can't tell your mind that because you're like, man, fuck this, or you know what I mean? Or you'll end up looking at, you ever look at social media and all of a sudden you see somebody always having fun, and then all of a sudden it just kicks in unconsciously that you really start hating that person or that motherfucker, man. But it don't be like it ain't supposed to be like that. But there's two types of people in this world when when this situation is people that do things and people that watch people that do things. So you gotta know which one are you. Were you a person who, was watching people do things? Okay, now you just gotta do things. And they know you don't need money to do a lot of these things. Only thing you can do is just do it. You know what I mean? Okay, go here, go this place, go, you know what I mean? Put yourself up. Then guess what? You're gonna meet people along your journey. And guess what? People that's always successful people love to help people. But the old saying is, I can't help you unless you help yourself. People don't even know that saying. Right. Because when they see you trying, they're going to say, okay, go this way. Or do this way. But how do we do this? Because we also get contemplated. I mean, we get content being around the same people that we don't want to leave because we feel like we're leaving them behind. So, once we feel like that, it can put us in a point that we ain't going no damn where. So you're like, shit, I ain't gonna do my blessings, or I ain't gonna go nowhere because I'm gonna sit right here because why? We heard this coming up. Oh man, you acting new. Oh man, you ain't real. You know what I mean? All these things, you know what I mean? Yeah. When you see somebody do something, oh man, oh that motherfucker ain't real. Then everybody start talking about that person, but that person is real. That person real recognize that this is not reality. You know what I mean? So I say that to say this is one of the main things that a lot of people deal with. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between being in the game, playing the game, and criticizing and being spectators. Like right now, to being honest, okay? We watching the playoffs right now, right? You see this motherfucker just did that ball, threw that ball like that. Somebody, a fan or somebody like, man, this motherfucker, man, get him out the fucking game. But if you in the game, you notice that, it was so precious, you seen something, but you basically, it's a difference, you know what I mean? And the crazy thing is somebody right now watching, get that motherfucker out of the game, but one of his teammates like, don't worry about it, it's gonna be alright, man, come on, let's go. Yeah. When you're in the game, you don't criticize, you're like, okay, you help him get to the next level. So that's the way life is, so, When we know it, but you guess what? Another thing is too. if you want to change, you want to change. If I ask everyone this question, they'll believe this, right? You want to change the place you want. Okay, you want to make money and change the city you from and the state you from, right? If I ask everybody that question, they'll say, yeah, 9 times out of 10, right? But how can you change it if you still be around the people who hasn't even moved to make it change? So usually, the person who changed something is the person who get up, go out, and then come back to help. You know, you go out and do it. That's why in college they send you off to another state where you don't know nobody. And in military, so you go get in the military, you're not gonna get stationed where you're from. You're gonna go somewhere else so they can get your complete undivided attention, so you can be able to do the mission that you need to do. Because if you didn't, you're gonna get distracted. You know? So my point being is, in order for us to do things that we want to do, or go, do things I would say at home, we have to leave home and get the things we need to bring back home. That's why our fathers left and got the quote unquote went out and got the bread and bacon. You know what I mean? He went out and made the bacon and he brought it back home. He didn't stay in the house and say, oh man, what we gonna eat, man? Man, he actually took his ass out and did what he had to do and come back and bring the bed back to the house, the food back to the house. And that's the way that everything in life has to be done. You have to go and get it, and then you can bring it back. If you're around a bunch of motherfuckers who just talking and want to do something, then that's a sign that you should be like, you ain't got to turn your back on them. But that's a sign for you to be like, you know what? If I know these motherfuckers is sitting like right now, if I know that we all sitting in this room and we ain't eating days, and y'all be like, man, let's go out and get some eating. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't going nowhere. And then y'all sit back and chill. We all got fear. We all got doubt. You know what I mean? But we going off each other's energy to see, you know what I mean? I got to do this, I got to do that. If you notice, why is this? Why when we go to make music or we want to go do something or business idea, why do we share it with somebody who never did nothing? Because we're trying to get confidence. We already got fear and doubt within ourselves. But we know that we go into someone who has fear and doubt within them. So they going to make us doubt more than ourselves. They're going to give us more fear in ourselves because they're going to say, oh man, that shit ain't going to work, man. So I wouldn't share my ideas or my things with somebody who hasn't leveled up yet. And I ain't put them down. I say that. So when somebody tell you you're too old to make music, you let them know this though. When more young people buy older people music than ever. You was buying music from Tupac, Biggie, all them wasn't your age. They was older than you. Why is in rap music you gotta have a certain age? But Garth Brooks and all these other rap artists, they can make music all their life. Yeah, exactly. It's only in rap, but rap didn't start out like that. You can be old as hell. Look at Jam Master Jay and Run DMC. When they was coming out with, back in the 90s. Look at LL Cool J. When he was in his 2000s, how old? He was older than Jay-Z. When he, when he was getting criticized. So it's not the music, it's the way that once the power that be got their hands on the industry, that's when they say, oh yeah, they put an age range. Because there was no age range. It wasn't even too many young people that was making music. If you think about it, Chris Cross, I can go with, the young music, Chris Cross, I'm talking about the younger things, you know what I'm saying? Illegal, things like little Shaheen from Wu-Tang. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of young rappers. Wow. Yeah, after that, you know what I'm saying? So never let nobody that tell you that you're too old or you can't do something. Exactly. Those are the people you need to be watching yourself around. Because those are the people you gotta look at and see what they did. Like this dude, what's his name? W.A. Smith, or what's the dude, the commentator? Stephen A. Smith. He always criticizing black athletes. Look at him. He don't never say nothing about good about But he said something about Aaron Rodgers. You know, oh, that's non-black. He speak highly of him, but he talks down. So tell me this though: why you got people like Michael Jordan, the greats, that don't criticize like he criticized? But if you look at Stephen A. Smith, he ain't even been in the fucking NBA. They got a champion. He didn't do too much of shit. So they the ones that's going to criticize. So you gotta be careful when you, exactly. So you gotta be careful when you go to your friends or family and tell them something. They say, "Oh man, you too old." Start look. You ain't gotta judge them, but start thinking about what their accomplishments they did. I guarantee a lot of them ain't accomplished shit. Look at the dude Dave from Wendy's. He didn't get his GED till he was like 50-something years old. Real talk. So it tells you you're never too old for nothing, man. You just gotta be, just do it.
That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to do about the best that I can. I'm trying to get numbers. I don't care about the family. Get everybody home.
And you know what? The number one reason why people don't make it successful, especially in the black community,
this is our
for one, is to wait on other people to do it for us or do it with us.
It just happens to be,
you know. When you say you gotta do something,
everything you love about
you gotta do like Nike, the Nike slogan. You gotta just do it. You know what I mean? And learn your mistakes on the way. If you ever, you know, here's the thing. You can keep telling yourself you're gonna do it, and you can talk yourself out of doing something by keep telling yourself you're gonna do it and don't do nothing.
Procrastinate on it.
Exactly.
Now, Intuit TurboTax Live.
This is something that we all have in ourselves. Just like we all have, you know, the same blood types or the same struggles, same this. This is something that we all have in humans because these are human traits. You know, this is a human traits.
A key play in San Francisco's wild card.
Listen, man.
This expert play is
it can happen, but guess what? The only thing going to happen is us. Look at a bird. Bird is a sign of how life's supposed to be, right? You get up in the morning, you get up like 4 o'clock in the morning, you might not hear nothing. You get up like 5, 6 in the morning, you gonna hear them birds tweeting. That motherfucking bird not sitting in that motherfucking nest. You know what I mean? Tweeting like, bring some food. I put some food. You know what I mean? That motherfucker going out and get it. Knowing that it's a hawk on his ass. That motherfucker don't give a fuck. He gonna go get it. The hawk is on his ass. He know that hawk is in that tree. You know what I mean? The hawk just got his homeboy the other day. You know what I mean? But he know he got little ones that need to eat. And you hear the nigga tweet, 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 tweet. That's him starting this car up, letting them know, you know what I mean, I'm about to get out. And you go get it. But then at a certain time at nighttime, you don't hear that motherfucking bird. Because why? They did what they did, now they get it for the night. You know what I mean? So it's symbolic to life. You know, you got to go get it. A little kid, a little baby, when he takes steps, it falls so many times to learn to walk and then run. In life, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep falling until we learn how to do it. We don't supposed to fall and just give up. If you look at a butterfly, it's a caterpillar. You know, so it actually transitions to two things: a caterpillar and a butterfly. Tell me something else that goes from those stages, from a caterpillar and a butterfly. People think it's two different things. But a caterpillar, after a certain while, come out that cocoon and he a new life. He become a butterfly, something that he wasn't in his old life. But the struggling of him coming out that cocoon makes his wings strong enough to fly and soar and be, you know, such eloquent, you know, a species, an insect, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing about life. But where did we get off of learning how to do that in life? If you look at the Egyptians did it, the slaves did it, the old people, their grandparents did it. They kept going until they found a way. They kept going until they found a way. They kept going. But where did it stop at? Somewhere in the 80s and 90s and 2000s when we started being programmed and motherfuckers started. We brought more TVs in the motherfucking late 90s and 2000s than ever motherfucker brought two TVs. You done went to your grandma's house and seen a big floor model's TV with a TV standing on top of that, with a TV on top, none of them motherfuckers work. But she tell you, go out and play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we came together when we went outside too.
Yeah, it changed a lot of things, but now we're programmed. We programmed to hate. But you know what's crazy? As being slaves, now I'm thinking, nobody thinking about this, right? As the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? We had a segregation where we was being mistreated because of our color, right? Right? So we stuck together because we was all one color, so you know what I mean? We were being mistreated unfairly because of our color, right? Now, the old saying is, everything in the world, you know, repeats itself, right? So why are we still black getting treated by our color? But it's not the racism that we're pointing out. It's our own colors that's targeting us because of color, because of gang colors.
Right.
You know? So the bite in the ass is, you know what I mean? Our ancestors was getting mistreated because of their color, but we turned around and started going at each other because of color. So how crazy is that?
That's crazy.
It's crazy enough to say we don't learn from our past or what we go through.
Exactly.
We are taught. We learn from we learn from entertainment and what the people want us to learn.
Right.
You know? Because if you think so, we'll be loving each other so much unconditionally. But we don't. We divide it. You got this one color over here that's a gang member. This color over here is a gang member. But they the same race, but they killing each other off all for color. Now, if you want to even make it more symbolic to it, when you had the 70s and 80s, we wore medallions with African colors. All right.
Right.
And this is how much the power of that beast is strong on our mind. It's the Dr. Xavier. You know what I mean? The white person that's the power of that beast was the Dr. Xavier to us being X-Men. Okay, I'm gonna show you what happened to him. He took the medallion that we represent coming from the motherland. We kicked that to the side and we started doing the colors that represent his American flag.
Yeah.
We don't even look at the motherland colors no more. We don't respect them anymore.
Right.
So this is what we in. But the crazy thing, you ask every black, go to ask a black person, American blacks, because certain other country blacks don't see it like this. American blacks, you go ask anybody, they keep talking about racism. In this day and time, in 2022, it's less racism than it was in 1960. Because you got more white people that's saying Black Lives Matter than you had more white. It was no white man or white person back then in the 60s said white man. They say slang that motherfucker, hang that motherfucker, kill that motherfucker. They didn't like it. They had different water fountains. They had everything. But now there's a difference. So the point is, the racism that people don't see is the racism within ourselves. But we blaming other people. We quick to blame somebody instead of self-checking ourselves. It's easy to blame somebody than do the right things and self-check yourself and point out the things yourself. But we don't do these things.
This is the Style Master.
Why don't we do these things? Because we get our education from entertainment.
Added versatility.
We don't get it from the books.
Change and master your style.
I'm gonna tell you how powerful education
This
is.
is the planning effect from Fidelity.
If you notice,
Ben isn't worried
a
about
person
retirement.
who don't have no
His
education
plan is backed
will
by
get a labor
teams
job working his ass off for $10 an hour,
professionals manage
busting his
salary
ass.
for him.
But the person who go to school
And helping him stay
will
on target.
goddamn can come to school
when he wants some advice.
with all white on them,
Adjust his plan whenever
not
he
get
needs to.
one spit
And now
dirty
he's
on them,
prepared for retirement.
and making $25 an hour.
That's the planning effect.
They show you
from
even
Fidelity.
more powerful is this.
When it comes to microprints capital.
When a slave go run off, they catch him, they beat his ass. He run again, they beat his ass. If he run 3 or 4 times, they might cut his foot off.
Stop till he gets what he wants.
But as soon as a slave first time get caught reading a book, Bible or book, they kill him. So it shows us right in our face how do we overcome this? Instead of worrying about the problem, pointing at the white man ain't about your bed like the Burger King do. You know what I mean? Everybody keeps talking about the white man. The white man is, the white man that. The white man not by your bed. When you wake up in the morning, remember that Burger King guy? The Burger King dude, where they gotta wake you up and shit? You don't see no white man by your bed when you wake up. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nobody, you know what I mean? Usually what we do, we put the headphones on and we listen to a black voice tell us how to start our day. You know? So the point is, everybody keeps focusing on the problem. Oh, the white man this, white man that, or, you know, they mistreat us because we're certain colors. The same shit that Malcolm X and all that shit was talking about. But we didn't pay attention. The documentaries are still here, but we're not paying attention because we let entertainment educate us. We watch all the stuff that these celebrities doing, and we just put it to our life thinking it is, knowing that them celebrities are fucking puppets, a lot of them puppets, and they mascots. Because they sending your kids to jail. When they talk about all that shit, your kids out there trying to keep up and do what they do, and they send shit to jail from doing all these senseless things that these motherfuckers put on the music or the acting. So, once you know this, you know how to navigate your life. But you have to know that when you want change, you gotta go move alone. You can't move with a crowd. A crowd don't want to change. Motherfuckers are scared to change. You gotta move by yourself. And once you move by yourself, and you start knowing life gonna become that much important to you. You're gonna stop stressing. You're gonna stop worrying about the next person. You're gonna start focusing on you. Things you want in life gonna start coming to you. And you're not gonna motherfucker look at this and say, oh man, blaming this person. It's easy to blame somebody for the things that's going wrong in our life instead of self-checking ourselves and making the corrections ourselves. So usually, man, that's why they say being successful is lonely up top, because usually people that knows this usually be successful. But don't be afraid to leave those people behind, because you're not actually leaving them behind. Once you step out and you start moving, you're going to start motivating people. Because it's like one bird, it's like I'm going to symbolic to a bird on the line. When one bird fly off, the rest of them there. So that will fly off, the next one fly off. If you keep standing in one spot, then guess what? We all going to be stagnated. So the thing is, education brings success. And the education got to be not entertainment, not social media. It has to be book education. When we follow people that